Hello my friends, welcome to Champions League Predictions. First game day, first day on Tuesday with 8 games, and here are the best predictions and betting tips for that. Before we start, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to this channel if you want the best predictions and betting tips on YouTube. Thanks for your support. Yeah, let's start with the first game in Group A, Feyenoord Rotterdam against Celtic Glasgow. Netherlands versus Scotland. And hard to predict because both teams are not very experienced on the international stage, and both teams haven't played Champions League in the last years, at least not very often and very successful. This is the point. And on the other hand, we don't know much about the difference between Scottish League and Netherlands League. So far I can tell these odds of 1.6 may be okay, maybe too low. We just can compare the players, and we see in both teams we have no really international superstar here. So I'm sorry for that. Impossible to make a serious prediction in this game, and that's one of the main problems. And I tell you that I personally don't bet on Champions League very much on the first 3 game days, as we don't have a lot of information about. There must be very attractive odds on some constellation we have a lot of information about to bet in the first 3 game days. So don't expect a lot of bets. Save your money for more important game days and value bets. And let's go on to the game, which is maybe more interesting for a lot of people from Italy and Spain and all across Europe, as we have 2 teams from the 5 biggest leagues, with Lazio Rome from Italy and Atletico Madrid from Spain. And in this situation I see on the first view value in these odds, and I tell you why. On the one hand, we have Lazio Rome, who's not doing great in this season, has lost some games in this season against Lecce and Genoa, and recently now on this weekend against Juventus Turin. And additional, they have not much experience in the Champions League. Last time they played in the Champions League was 3 years ago. They made not the best results then, and so it's a long time ago when Lazio was really on the international peak. And then for sure we have Atletico Madrid, one of the most successful Spanish teams within the last 5 to 10 years, with a lot of finals played, with a lot of money invested in their team at the moment. But anyway, they had a recent loss at Valencia 3-0 after beating Vallecano 7-0. It's up and down with Atletico at the early stage of the season. You can't really trust them, but if it comes to international important games, they also have Diego Simeone on their bench, and they have a lot of international successful and experienced players, starting from Koke, Axel, Witsel, Griezmann, Depay, Morata, all really international top players. And that makes this game a pretty easy thing to bet on. Not because I think Lazio is weak or will lose this game, but we have really good odds on Atletico, and with all informations I gave you, these odds are very attractive. We can have a draw no bet on Atletico. We don't lose money if we have a draw. If Lazio wins the game, they deserve it, and nothing wrong about this bet in my eyes. The next very interesting game on Tuesdays between Milano and Newcastle, and the problem here is that both are not really in their best form at the moment. We've seen in their games on the weekend, AC Milan was losing 5-1 against Inter Milan in the Milan derby, and Newcastle only was able to beat Brentford 1-0. At least they had a victory, but still not a really impressive one. And also these odds are very, very hard to predict, as before the Inter game, I would say if we get odds of 2.5 around on the semi-finalist of last year, AC Milan, I would say awesome, you have to go for it. But after the game against Inter, yeah, it's almost impossible now to bet on Milan. No matter what you think the game will end, putting money on is a complete different thing, and I won't do that now. And still, I don't trust Newcastle in this game. So best thing to do, just watch and enjoy, don't waste money. A brutal game to start for Borussia Dortmund against Paris in the first game, for sure. Maybe it's the easiest one because they don't have to lose a lot in this game. Against the other teams in this group, they might be favorites someday and have to collect points, but not in this one. They go to Paris, and no matter what, they only can surprise if they win. It would not be a surprise if they lose, and if they collect 1 point, it's also a success for them. That said, Paris Saint-Germain is not unbeatable, as Nice showed us on this weekend, as they were able to beat PSG at their stadium. So yeah, maybe they didn't play 100% because of facing Dortmund in the Champions League. Anyway, they also lost some points in the first 2 games where they draw against Lorient and Toulouse. So not impossible to make a point for Borussia Dortmund there. The odds on Paris with 1.75 are too low to bet on in my eyes. But even after a really high-scoring victory against Freiburg, which was only because Freiburg got a red card and 2 last-minute goals, so this was not a clear victory of Dortmund. And the 2 games before against Heidenheim and Bochum and Cologne were really bad, so I won't put a single cent on Dortmund in this game. Anyway, I also think there's no value on the Paris side. Then we have an interesting German-speaking game between the Swiss team Young Boys Bern against the German team RB Leipzig, and this is very interesting as the Swiss season hasn't started so far, and the Young Boys are not into their games now, so this can be a huge advantage for Leipzig, additional to their really good form at the moment. Leipzig was winning the last 3 Bundesliga games and the last 2 games 3-0 without conceding a goal against Union Berlin and Augsburg, and they are on fire with really nice new players like Xavi Simons from PSG and Lois Openda from Lens, and the other players are really all on fire at the moment. So even if I don't like odds like 1.6 on away teams or on favorites, in this situation I think this is still a high odd. And as I think that Leipzig has more match practice now, and they are the far better team by players, I will say they can win the first half, and we get odds of 2.1 if they play like in the Bundesliga. And I think the Young Boys are really not as good as their opponents in the Bundesliga so far, maybe even not better than Augsburg. That's why I think Leipzig should win this game very clear. I would also say Asian Handicap on Leipzig is an option, all that to make a clear first victory in this Champions League. Everyone should be highly motivated on the Leipzig side, and I can't see a reason why they should not win this game 4-1 or 4-0 or something like that. And last game, Man City versus Red Star Belgrad. No consideration at all on betting this game, as we only can lose because we don't know how good Red Star is in comparison to Man City. We know Man City is almost unbeatable, but at the end the odds are too bad and we only can lose money betting on Man City. And maybe an interesting thing could be both teams to score, but yeah, that is not really paid good enough for that, so just ignore this game. Same situation with the Barcelona game against Royal Antwerp from Belgium, and maybe a little bit of volume we see in the last game in Group H between Shakhtar Donetsk and Porto. We have a clear favorite, and it's the away team Porto, but the difference between the Ukrainian team and the Portuguese team should not be as high as it seems to be. And additional, Porto is playing away. They have to travel away from Portugal, and this game is staged at the Volksparkstadion at Hamburg in Germany. Not really a home advantage for Shakhtar Donetsk, but an away disadvantage for Porto. And I don't like the Porto odds. I think Shakhtar maybe has a chance here to make at least 1 point. Betting on it, a complete different thing, as I don't know how good Shakhtar is at this stage of the season, and altogether between these leagues it's almost impossible to compare. That's why betting in this game also is no option, but I resume the games I will bet on the first day of the Champions League on this Tuesday. Before we start, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to this channel if you want the best predictions and betting tips on YouTube. Thanks for your support. So I only have 2 bets and I won't combine them, I just want to play them as single bets, and as you might have recognized in my words on it, I would say Leipzig gonna win against Young Boys Bern with odds of 1.6, and the other one is Atletico Madrid not losing at Lazio Rome, and these are odds of 1.7. If there's a draw, we get the money back. And so thanks for watching. Post your comment below in the commentary section and tell me what bets you are playing on this game day. Thank you, bye.